Now, graffiti, it's part of our social history, and there's an exhibit at the National Railroad Museum that explores railcar graffiti. We have Bob Lettenberg joins us from Ashwaubenon with more. And Bob, what are we going to be talking about this hour?
Well, Doug, the exhibit is called From Big Boy to Boxcars, the Good and Bad of Railroad Graffiti. We have works from a national photographer, Andrea Furman, and from a local photographer, Tim Knoll, that explore, yes, graffiti on railroad cars that we see all over the place today. Couple things about the exhibit that are interesting. You know, we have an educational side to it. We made some little easels so that youngsters can practice their graffiti in a safe and legal way here at the museum. And you know, sometimes graffiti you can't quite tell what it says, but you know, even in graffiti, it is a good day, Wisconsin. Little historic trivia for you involving graffiti. A lot of folks here at the museum know about our Big Boy locomotive, one of the world's largest steam engines. Believe it or not, Big Boy actually got its name from an act of graffiti. As the first one was being constructed, a worker crawled up on the front and with a piece of chalk marked Big Boy on it, and it stuck. And that's how we got the name for that particular locomotive, through an act of graffiti. You know, when you think about graffiti, there's a very creative side, a lot of color. You know, the piece that we're looking at here, one of Tim Knoll's photographs, some vibrant, beautiful colors. The man here with his guitar, you know, what was the person thinking about that when they did this? And that's one of the things we explore in the exhibit is that artistic side and that outlet for creativity. But the other part of graffiti, and this is kind of the sad and dangerous part, it is a criminal act, and when people graffiti on railroad cars, they're covering up a lot of things that the railroads need to use in their operations, such as the car's identification number, kind of the license number for that car, and when that gets covered up, you really don't know what car it is when you're looking at it. There's other markings on railroad cars that graffiti artists are covering, such as the reflective safety stripes on the side that help motorists see a train at a grade crossing. Or in some cases there are physical dimension markings, or there's special safety warnings on the cars, and as graffiti artists cover these up, the people working with the cars aren't able to see them and create some potentially dangerous situations. And the other thing with graffiti too is, as I mentioned, it is a criminal act. A lot of states do have laws that are specific to graffiti. Wisconsin has a law dealing with damage to railroad property. Some of the states, such as California, Florida, Texas, have laws that specifically deal with acts of graffiti. And the penalties are pretty severe for some of these things. The other thing with it too, graffiti, you're trespassing onto railroad property. And over the past few years, trespass deaths on railroad property have been on the increase. Some of it is from people just, you know, wandering down the railroad tracks where they shouldn't be, and others are, you know, committing acts of graffiti and vandalism, and unfortunately are paying a very heavy price for it. So, a very interesting exhibit, From Boxcars, or Big Boy to Boxcars, the Good and Bad of Railroad Graffiti. It is a temporary exhibit here at the museum, open throughout this year.
All right, Bob, thank you for joining us. More information on our website, fox11online.com.